Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee with Craig. I am your host, Craig DeLuz, and we are here to talk all things Second Amendment advocacy, policy, you name it, we're talking about it. Please make sure to like and share this video feed right now. This is live so that your friends can be a part of the conversation. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. That way you can get alerts whenever we go live. And I say both because, well, hey, some people aren't on Facebook, and we also know that not every time does Facebook send out the alerts when we're live. But we know you can get it on YouTube, so you'll know when we're live. So please help us out. Don't just share it, but also, make sure you subscribe. Also, wanted to remind you guys, FPC Gear Store is back open. And as you can see, we've got the Don't Tread on Me Gadsden flag t-shirts. They are ready to fly. They are flying off the shelves. And there's one waiting with your name on it. So please get out there, get engaged, hook them up. You want to make sure you buy your, you want to make sure you get yours today. We've also got a number of other T-shirts, a number of other designs that are available for you. We've got the Right to Bear Arms T-shirt. We've also got the ladies Gadsden flag Don't Tread on Me T-shirt, and we've got the gun rights. Well, because I can't carry a cop in my pocket. Once again, my favorite. Where can you get them? FPCgear.com. That's FPCgear.com. Know that all of the proceeds go to benefit and fight for your right to keep and bear arms and the ancillary rights attached thereto. All right, folks, let's get into today's topic. You guys all remember the big walkout that took place. Well, that wasn't the only walkout that took place. In fact, last week there was a student walkout that was organized by students who are pro-Second Amendment, students who wanted to stand up and fight for the Second Amendment. So you had students in over 40 states actually walked out of class in support of the Second Amendment. And I had a chance to watch a young man be interviewed on Cavuto a couple of times, and just really, really sharp young man. And I am just honored to say that we have this young man on the show with us today. And that young man is Mr. Will Riley. Will, how are you doing today?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me on.
All right. So, Will, just do me a favor and just kind of, share with folks real briefly about, I like to say, what I felt was great was you guys really seemed like it was your desire to show that, that there were people in your generation who believed in the Second Amendment or willing to stand for the Second Amendment. But I'll let you. Why don't you please do me a favor? Tell me in your words, what it was that you guys were trying to say and why you guys decided to do this.
Well, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That was our goal, was to show that there are people in our generation that do disagree with the idea that we should ban assault weapons, we should ban all weapons, we should totally repeal the Second Amendment. And it seems like that was really the narrative that was going on, especially in the mainstream media, that there was some sort of united front from our generation. And I think that narrative emboldened former Supreme Court Justice Stevens to come out and call for the full repeal of the Second Amendment. And that's really what drove me to action.
Now, Will, one of the things that really impressed me about you was, it wasn't just that you talk about it from the perspective as of a gun owner, because you're 18 now, but literally up until you turn 18, you weren't able to own a firearm. But you talked about it beyond just being a firearm owner, but understanding the fact that it is a civil right and how it tied into all of the other civil rights that we hold dear. And anyway, do me a favor, just kind of let the folks know your perspective on the Second Amendment as a civil right.
Right. I would say that we as a group believe that this is a civil right, a human right, a natural right, whatever you want to call it. This is not something that's granted by the Second Amendment. It's just protected by the Second Amendment. It's something that is inherent for all human beings, that we have a right to protect ourselves. to protect our families and to protect our country against a tyrannical government or against an invasion. So, I think it's really important that we stress that a natural right, a human right, a civil right, whatever you want to call it, it's not up to majority vote. And it doesn't matter if the majority of people don't think we should have it anymore. You can take away the Second Amendment if you want to, but the fact is you haven't taken away anything from us. You've only violated our rights.
Right. And, that's an important point to make. I mean, the thing that always gets me about both the First and the Second Amendment is that they are literally the two civil rights that protect all of the others. If you are going to violate any of our rights, any of our fundamental human rights, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to exercise our First Amendment right to seek redress from our government, to speak out against it and seek redress. And if necessary, we're going to exercise our Second Amendment right in order to make sure that our rights are protected by force, right?
Yes, absolutely. I was actually just discussing this before I got on with you, talking about, it's really interesting how this turned out not to just be something about the Second Amendment. It's also about the First Amendment, because right now where we are is that the situation, it's bad, but it's not getting so bad that we have to use our Second Amendment rights. But right now we are needing to use our First Amendment rights to protect the Second. And one thing to realize about our First Amendment rights, they are being violated by a lot of schools around the country.
Right. I mean, we're hearing instances of students who are being called in to the office and being interrogated because they went to the shooting range with their parents. Once again, totally legally went to the shooting range with their parents, not during school hours, but on their own time. We've seen students get suspended for that. We've actually even seen we got one student who's in trouble for wearing one of our T-shirts at school. And then there's the students who are just during your event who wanted to participate in this event at schools where they allowed students to walk out for the gun control side. But when it came to our side, when it came to the pro-gun side, well, they're not allowing them to participate, right?
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Our situation that we're dealing with, we're not saying that we have a constitutional right to walk out of class. We are, however, saying that if the other students were allowed to walk out of class, it's unconstitutional for the schools to treat us any differently than they treated the other students. We're getting reports around the country. At my school alone, our principal tried to crack down on us and try to give us all these restrictions out of the blue, even though I confirmed him with this weeks in advance. We're getting some help from the Firearms Policy Coalition on some of these issues, and you folks are definitely helping us to defend these students' rights. I got a report today a few days ago, that was a teacher actually put her hands on a student to try to prevent him from getting out of class, and there was a police report filed, and we're looking into that. It's sort of a developing situation. We've had these schools where the other walkout was allowed, but then security was called to block the doors to prevent students from walking out for this. It really is egregious what's going on around the country.
Well, exactly. The thing is that schools should not be the ones picking winners and losers in the free speech debate. They shouldn't be the ones who get to say, well, this speech is allowed because we agree with it, and this speech is not allowed because we disagree with it. Anyway, kind of changing the subject, I got to tell you, you are a very bright young man, and I know that a lot of folks here, want to hear about, what are your plans? What are your plans for the future?
Well, I would say that I would want to be doing anything that I could to protect our Constitution. I think it's greatly under threat. I've got something in the works right now, actually, so I would say stay tuned for that. But about a movement, in the future that's going to stand up not just for our Second Amendment rights, but for all of our rights, for constitutionally minded students around the country. And I think. We'll see where that takes me, and we'll see where my college career takes me. But I definitely know that I do want to be, helping to stand up for those rights.
Well, I say that because, I think anybody who just listens to you can tell that you have a future. And, you need to know that in the political game, not everybody is going to be as committed to values and principles. Not just your principles, but the principles upon which this country and this nation is founded. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to, because there's going to be a lot of temptation, and people are going to want you to stray away from those values and put them aside, and so that you can be, quote unquote, electable. So, I just want to just encourage you to hold fast to those principles and values. And if you do, I'm sure you'll have a very, very bright future. I'm looking forward to being able to vote for you one day.
Well, I hope you will too, and thank you very much for your kind words. And you're absolutely right. I'm trying not to look at all of the comments that I'm getting right now, because I'm not getting as much nice comments as I would like. But I was baffled earlier. I saw someone said, "You said that your rights are coming from God, or that they're inherent rather than coming from the Constitution. Where would you get such a crazy idea?" And I'm thinking, I think that's the Declaration of Independence, but it's pretty bad, and it's definitely a battle worth fighting, though. So I'll absolutely continue fighting it, and until it lets up, which I don't foresee that happening. So,
right. So, now, where can folks get a hold of you in order to find out and follow what it is that you're doing and the work that's going on with your organization?
Well, number one, you can follow my personal Twitter, which is Will and then RILY, or you can follow us at Stand Second, which is the Stand for the Second Twitter. You can check out our website, which is standforthesecond.com, and whenever we do have updates for you, they'll be posted on the Stand for the Second pages, and I'll keep you posted on my personal.
Well, once again, Will, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for all of the work that you do, and just want you to know that we really appreciate you here at the Firearms Policy Coalition. Just know we've got your back. If you are in need, there's something going on and you need help, you always know that you can come to FPC and we will have your back. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. We very much appreciate you guys tuning in and being a part of the fight for civil rights. We appreciate you guys sharing and liking these videos so that your friends can join in the fight as well. Remember, this is Firearms Policy Coalition. We are the home in the fight for civil rights. Got to use them or you're going to lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.